Hey there YouTubers, unboxing video time. This should be my Gigabyte UD 790. You may have seen we had the 690 UD on here. I did a bunch of videos with it, and then I updated the BIOS and I sold it. I'm actually doing that with quite a few of the motherboards so we can get more in on the channel. And actually that's going to be a common theme, except for, say, the CPUs and, well, actually, I guess even the CPUs aren't exempt. So, like I said, Gigabyte UD, Z790 UD AC, right? So this means, doesn't mean air conditioning, it means it's got Wi-Fi. You see an AC or AX, usually that's what you get. PCIe 5.0 DDR5 support. I got, I had to cancel it, but I'm getting 6,000 megahertz RAM, 32 gigs, so two 16 gig sticks. Hopefully they'll be compatible. You should always check your manufacturer's website to make sure your RAM's compatible. I got a bunch of motherboards. Hoping it will be compatible with one of the 5, right? Some good deals on Amazon on RAM right now. So, like I said though, always check the manufacturer's website. Alright, so you see the 16 plus 1 phases, power stages, digital VRM. So we'll just open this thing up and see what's in it. Alright, I always like to look at the goodies first, and then we'll get this out. Now, currently my Aorus Extreme AX Z690 is my favorite motherboard, and I think there's a good chance that this will become the new favorite, but you never know. Depends on how things perform. Not a whole lot on this, folks. It's not even a manual. And one little M.2 in there. I almost thought this bag was empty. M.2 screw. Interesting Wi-Fi antennas. These are much bigger than the normal ones. God, I wish I could find a set lying around. Just so you can see, much bigger difference. Whether they'll be any better, another story. SATA cables, so two of those in there, and then more M.2 screws. So with Gigabyte, you are still stuck with those instead of you know, what is it, MSI? I think it's MSI has the really the cool one that locks in, screws in easy. Alright, let's get this out of the way, folks, and then it'll be time for the motherboard. Now, what videos am I going to make with this motherboard, folks? We'll do quite a few. I will have a macro view one, so you can see all the features really close. May use this camera to break out the good 4K ones. We'll probably compare this to the Aorus Extreme. I'm feeling we're not going to see too many things different. A lot of it will be internal. We'll do installation with it. I'll do some benchmarks. I'll probably put the i9 13900K F in there, right? We may even do the i5, but so DDR5 RAM. Saw the power stages. Nice heatsink here, okay? That thing's pretty solid. This one, you know, not as big, but still looks pretty capable. This is where your LGA 1700 CPU is going to go. So right out of the box, this is compatible with the existing 13th gen CPUs. And so, like I said, I'll do an installation video. I don't know what CPU cooler we'll use. Probably try something different. M.2 with the heatsink here, so that's it at Gen 4. Then we have two more Gen 4s down here, if I remember correctly. So beyond that, let's start in the lower left corner, right? You've got your HD audio, COM, ARGB, RGB, USB 2.0s, okay? Right here is your BIOS update. So I did a BIOS update for the UD Z690. I'll do one for this Z790, so that'll be another video. We'll also do a brief BIOS overview so you guys can see that. Hopefully we'll have some RAM in there that can be overclocked. So there are three more PCIe. I think these are all 4.0 by 16, right? So the larger ones. This is a really good motherboard for cards. And then you've got two of the shorter ones here, all right? The 1-inch ones. So we don't need a Wi-Fi card on this, but usually that's, you know, something you stick in there. If you have an additional USB card, which I have, potentially you could put that, I'd say, in this one. You don't want to be too close to your main graphics card. All right, so moving on. Fan header. This says fan 3 pump. We already said the BIOS flash. Reset switch here, okay? So clear the CMOS. You don't have to remove that with this model. I haven't done that yet, but that should be the case. Now, just in case you guys can see this, these are your front panel connectors. So you've got along the top left, you've got your power LED, then pins 3 and 4 power switch, and then the next row down, HDD, the first two pins, that light there, and then the reset is the third and fourth pin. Up above on this side is the speaker, all right? There is the CMOS battery, 6 SATAs, okay? Let's rotate this way. USB Type-C Charlie header, USB 3.2. So if your case has a Type-C Charlie header, this is good for that. If you have USB 3.0s on your case, that's good for that. Unfortunately, this only has one of these because some cases will have 4 USBs and you need 2 of these. Two more system fan headers here, okay? 24-pin power connector, right? That comes from your PSU. That would plug in there. Moving over. So we talked about these. If you have only one pair of RAM, you're going to use these two. That's A2 and B2, okay? And it has to be DDR5 RAM. Let's see. So here's some of the cheaper DDR5 RAM. You can barely tell the difference between these, except for the way the slots are, right? So they're definitely in different spots, but DDR4 does not fit in a DDR5. Okay. Rotating around, we have RGB, ARGB, CPU optional here, and CPU fan. Okay. Now over here, this is going to be a good motherboard for overclocking of the. You can tell this is meant for a 13th gen. They can use more power, and better to spread that out over 2 power cables. So CPU power connector, you'll want 2 sets of these, and those will plug in there. It only goes in one way. Check out my installation video when we do that. Another fan header for the case. I always like to check the bottom. Nothing on the bottom of this. All right, so top left, sorry, I had to take a second to look at it. This is dedicated USB BIOS. You can see BIOS right there. Then another USB 2.0. This old PS2 style connector, right? If you have that for keyboard mouse, I never use that anymore. Can't remember the last time I did. Antenna, you saw the antennas in the box. Another USB 2.0, or two more of those, and two USB 3.2 Gen 1s, I believe. And you have DisplayPort, HDMI. The I/O shield is built in on this one. Okay, or it looks like it is. I don't know if it clipped on, but that is, you know, not the nicest looking one, but it is good that they actually did that on this model, especially when you spend $200, which is what I paid for this thing. So USB 3.2, this should be a Gen 2. Type C. Then you've got Ethernet 2.5 gig, two more USB 3.2 Gen 1s. Line in, headphone, or line out, microphone. All right. So like I said, folks, I will have a lot more videos. We'll link them down below. Hopefully check them out. And I will let you know, I think when we get 13th gen, hopefully I'll remember to do this. I may update the BIOS here shortly, but when I get the new locked 13th gen, whether it's good out of the box with this. Thanks for checking out the video. Please like, please subscribe.